when Peter Dutton pulled the rug on the ghastly Ida Hobbit tea parties, The Guardian, the virtually unreadable online magazine commissioned by Malcolm Turnbull, tried to suggest that Peter Dutton was being ridiculed as a minister for culture wars. Well, Minister Dutton, all I can say is thank God. We desperately need a minister to fight the culture wars. Wear that title and The Guardian's scorn as a badge of honour, Minister Dutton. A minister for culture wars is precisely what every Australian needs right now if we are to save this country from the reckless damage being daily inflicted upon so many aspects of our lives by the left's long march through the institutions. If we are to defeat the enemies without, and there are one or two who spring to mind, we must first defeat the ideological enemies within who are crippling our armed services, perverting the education of our children, destroying our economic advantages, obliterating our future prosperity, and leaving us increasingly vulnerable thanks to insane infatuations with gender identity, climate change, racism theories, Indigenous revisionism, white guilt, personal pronouns, Ida Hobbits, and all the other madness. Oh, wait for this. The Defence People Group Communication Plan I referred to earlier actually warned our soldiers not to be on their guard against Chinese infiltration or militant neo-Marxists or anarchist agitators or offensive weapons or terrorists. Oh, no, none of that. Our armed forces from now on are to be on the lookout for offensive terms such as gender dysphoria, which apparently, and every soldier needs to know this, has been replaced with gender incongruence. The top brass at Duntroon are a joke. The fish rots from the top. Australia faces the most terrifying and arguably insurmountable problems and military threats in the years ahead, China being at the top of that list. Yet we are emasculating, as Ted Cruz says, our military forces with identity politics and woke virtue signalling. The other evening, I attended a fundraising event by the brilliant charity Soldier On, which looks after returned soldiers and veterans, many of whom struggle to find a fulfilling life after the army. Soldier On, led by Peter Lee, Ivan Slavich and others, do a sensational job, and I urge you to get behind them and sponsor them if you can. This is their badge I'm wearing. You'll remember how recently the legendary veteran Bert Lemerton from Lake Macquarie, at 101 years of age, set off to walk 96 kilometres. That's crazy enough, the length of the Kokoda Trail, but he ended up walking 419 kilometres over 3 months, all to raise funds for Soldier On. What a legend. At the fundraiser, where Australian business legends like Gina Reinhardt from Hancock Mining, Anthony Pratt from Veezy and many others donated extremely generously to Soldier On, my colleague here at Sky News, Alan Jones, gave the speech of a lifetime. And I mean that. It was riveting. I can't do it justice and I won't attempt to, but suffice to say that Alan highlighted the grotesque hypocrisy of the top brass in Canberra, including the government, stripping citations from some 3,000 Aussie diggers who served in Afghanistan because of, as I have repeatedly said here on Outsiders, totally unproven allegations about events decades ago, supposedly by a handful of Aussie soldiers, even though, as Alan Jones pointed out, the Afghanistan government has never raised a single complaint. Yet, at the same time, Canberra is calling an inquiry into why so many returned service men and women feel so unappreciated they end up taking their own lives. Hello? Anyone at home there in Canberra and Duntroon? Join the dots? Do we treat our diggers with respect, or do we trash them publicly in front of the entire world with no proven evidence whatsoever and leave devastated individuals and families in tatters? Worse, Alan Jones revealed how, shamefully, 5 months prior to the release of the Brereton reports, those same politicians and Duntroon bureaucrats asked Buckingham Palace to to change the patents surrounding military citations, allegedly to make it possible for them to then undertake that shameful collective punishment and denial of the presumption of innocence. I'm sure Alan Jones will have a lot more to say on that topic, and I urge you to listen closely. It's an extraordinary story. And Alan delivered it in the most moving and heartfelt way. Suffice to say, it was Peter Dutton who stepped in and, as one of his first actions as Defence Minister, said, "No way. This obscenity is not happening on my watch. The citations will not be removed." Peter Dutton, who also said, "The rainbow-coloured cakes at morning teas won't be happening, and our soldiers won't be wasting one single precious second of their time worrying about personal pronouns. Repeat after me. This is my wife, she is my wife. This is my husband, he is my husband. We are husband and wife." It's not hard, soldiers. The bottom line is this. We are going to need our military forces to be performing at their absolute best in coming years. Anything or anyone, or worse, any woke ideological claptrap that hinders the strength and confidence and resilience of our armed forces has no place anywhere near the corridors of Duntroon and must be weeded out. Peter Dutton is the man to do just that.